All right, we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am James Oliver Jr., co-founder and CEO of Kabila, an inclusive co-founder matching app and global community for dope BIPOC and women founders and some other amazing stuff we got coming down the pike, but I can't talk about it yet because we don't want to get in trouble with the SEC. But today I'm super excited that we have, he's a friend of the show, just a remarkable human, new dad, Gigi the VC. The Darrel, Gigi needs her own handle, bro. Gigi the VC, she needs her own handle, bro. Need to make that happen. So we're super excited because we have Darrel coming up, and we're going to talk about the Visible Hands 200K Visionary Accelerator. What's up, bro? How are you, man?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, yes, of course.
That handle real quick. Gigi's a VC. She's coming real soon.
You haven't caught the handle yet?
Oh, let me do that before somebody grabs it.
You need to get. I just put it out there, Blast. You need to get that. So listen, we got a bunch of people coming in. Everybody out there, tons of people RSVP. Let us know where you coming in from. Where you coming in from? A lot of people excited here. Glad to be here. Yes, glad to have you. Excited to learn more. Excited to have you here, Jonathan. Yes. Awesome event. Excited for this. Yes, sir. Osama. Welcome, everybody. So excited to have y'all here. So look, don't be shy about dropping your questions. I am producing and hosting the show, so I will do my best to get to as many of the questions as I possibly can. Coming in from Chicago, Brooklyn, that's my hometown. Brooklyn's always in the building. What? You know what I'm saying? We always in the building. Look at all this. Look at this. Look at all the love you're getting, Darrel. Look at this, man. From Virginia, from Tribe, co-founder of Tribe Meets, connecting people with the African diaspora. Let's go, y'all. All right, so look, man, let's get right into this, Darrel, because we always have a good time. We always inform the people, give them what they want. Philly in the building. That's what's up, Philly. City brotherly love. Okay, that's right. All right, so look, I got some questions. Y'all drop your questions in the chat or in the comments if you're on social media, and we will get to get to all your questions. So Darrel, just the basics, bro. What is Visible Hands and who do you serve?
Awesome. Well, thank you, James, for always hosting these amazing events. I think this is so important to be able to reach out to your community about different opportunities for them to get funded and just to give them some really great advice and insights on, how to navigate in these streets. It's tough out here for especially underrepresented founders to get funding. And we play a small role, at Visible Hands to do our part. But there's so much more that's needed to be done. So we all thank you for what you're doing for the people.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. I'm just doing my small part. And at the end of this, we wanted to answer your questions about how can you submit a great application and have a chance to get accepted into this program. So, let's talk about it. What you all, who you serve, what's going on, why you're doing this. Let's talk about it. What is the Visionary Hands Accelerator? Let's get into it, bro.
Cool. So I'm Darrel. I just moved from New Jersey to Tulsa, Oklahoma, with my wife and 4-month-old baby.
Gigi the VC.
Gigi the VC, as she's affectionately known. I'm an investor at Visible Hands. We're a pre-seed venture capital firm focusing on diverse founders. So we're intentionally investing in women and founders of color, people that are underrepresented in regards to capital being allocated to their businesses. We focus specifically on those demographics. We invest through our accelerator programs. So right now we're sourcing for our Visionaries Accelerator cohort number 3. This is going to be the 3rd year we're doing this accelerator, and we've made some really great changes. Some exciting things have been updated with our accelerator. We'll be investing $200K into 20 founders through this program. We're super excited. Applications are open right now, and they're open until May 29th. So you can go to visiblehands.vc/accelerator. You can learn all the details and apply if you haven't already. I'm happy to go into details and take this whatever direction you want me to go.
Oh, look at this one. You see this comment? Oh my God, G. Hilarious. So good. So you talked about some changes this time. You actually made significant changes this time because before it was 35 founders and it was
45.
Huh?
45 founders.
45, and it was $25,000, right?
25K initial check, and then we had the opportunity to do follow-on up to 150K additional.
Yeah, so he just front-loaded it with 200 stacks.
Exactly.
For 20 founders.
We see this as a better model to where every founder that we invest in has a strong capital pool to be able to make meaningful traction with, as opposed to, starting out with just a smaller 25K check and, not everyone being able to make it very far with that, small investment. We'd rather just go bigger, and give founders the runway and the capital they need to make a meaningful step forward in their business. So
Listen,
we're excited about this new model of 200K checks to everybody. And I think it's going to be a great way to move forward with our accelerator.
so good. Yes, 200K is way more helpful than 25K, unequivocally. I love it. Hey, Liberty. So look, I mean, full disclosure, I applied to the accelerator a couple weeks ago. So like I'm applying, because we need more gas, and excited to collab with Visible Hands if we can get in. So we have a couple questions here. Industry agnostic. Yes, they are pre-seed, pre-prod. I'll let you answer the question. Go ahead.
Cool. So at Visible Hands, we're completely industry agnostic. We just have our diversity focus on women and founders of color. So we're not particularly focused on any specific industry. As long as you're building something that's tech or tech enabled, or something that we believe can be, at venture scale with a great outcome down the line. That's all we are looking for in terms of the type of company. In terms of the stage, we are still considered pre-seed. I can even just disclose now. Last time I came on here, I didn't have the exact numbers in terms of the terms. Now they're all public. We're going to be investing to 200K for 5% on a post money safe. That is at a $4 million cap.
Mm-hmm.
So that is typically known as the pre-seed range in terms of valuation. So it's considered pre-seed.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of applying, anybody can apply. In terms of your progress with your business, your traction, that's going to increase the likelihood of you getting into the program. I could say in terms of what we are going to be highly looking for is just types of validation that you're solving a meaningful problem for your customers. You're specific in regards to how you drive value to those customers, and you're able to start showing revenue traction, user traction, and showcasing that there's something viable here that can scale into something huge. So the further along you are with that, the higher chance you have to getting into the program. But even if you're pre-product, you are allowed to apply.
So if you have an MVP, gives you a better opportunity to get in then, yes.
The further along you are, the better. It's not just being further along for the sake of being further along. It's the validation piece you have with your customers. So getting your product out to your customers, seeing if they're willing to buy it, getting traction, getting recurring revenue, getting these things that validate that this thing can grow and scale into something meaningful. And that's what we're looking for in the people that are applying, and ultimately that will get through our program.
Love it.
I would also like to add just kind of how our process works in regards to selection, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Awesome. So like I said, we run multiple accelerator programs. So we just closed out and now are operating in our BKXL accelerator. That was a program. We invested up to 500K into 12 teams. We had about 2,000 applications for that program. And with that program, over 2,000 people applied, and we expect this program to be around the same amount or so. After applications close on May 29th, then we're going to jump right into interviews. So in June, we're going to start sending out invites to people that made it to the interview round. We're likely going to interview around 10% of that pool. So if you made it to the interview round, you're in the top 10% or so of applications that we believed and that we've selected. And then after the interviews, we select the 20 selected founders.
Yeah. So that's 10% of that, what makes it 1% of the total applicant pool.
Exactly. So
man,
it's tougher than any college you got into. But when we select, it's gonna happen probably mid-August or early August. So that's when people will start getting notified whether they got in or not. So in June, July, you'll hear if you got invited to an interview. Then August, you'll probably hear back to see if you got into the program. And then the program starts in September. We do a 1 week in-person orientation in Tulsa. One of the reasons why I moved here. And then 9 weeks of virtual programming.
Dope. That's so good, man. I love that. So, all right. So let's get to some questions. I mean, I have my own questions written down, but we got a bunch of questions here. So let's get to these. What would make a non-technical founder's company stand out to Visible Hands?
So it would all be about traction and showcasing customers, your understanding of the customer pain point, and being able to have a product or a solution that actually helps them and make their lives better. So I actually don't care if you're technical or non-technical. I care about the output of the business. Is your business serving your customer? Do you have a strong go-to-market strategy to actually attract more customers to your business? And that's the component that we're looking for. The team, it doesn't matter as your individual skills. It matters about, does your team have the adequate resources to design, build, iterate, and go to market with your product and serve customers? So that's what we're looking for.
So, okay. So I feel like you're dancing around this particular topic just a little bit. So let's hone right in on it.
No dancing here, brother.
No, I know. You know, if it wouldn't be a conversation with us if I wasn't giving you at least a little bit of a hard time, because that's just what I do.
Brother.
And I'm mad that you're not in the kitchen this time. That you're all settled in the house now. Last time you were in the kitchen, that was fantastic. Standing in the kitchen.
Hey, I got an office chair now, man.
It was so great. So we take solopreneurs. It's kind of what that question was. Your response was kind of going around and around. Yes or no?
Yes. I don't care if it's just you or if you have a full-fledged founding team. I'm reading what it says. It says, what would make a non-technical founder stand out? So that's what I'm answering right now.
Okay, I hear you. Yeah. So can you execute? Like, do you have a product? Do you have customers? Do they want it? Do you have traction? But you don't necessarily have to have customers. You'll take MVP, with some other validation points. Yes or no?
You can apply.
I'm not talking about applying where you get in. Everybody can apply.
So we are actually, no, not everyone can apply. We have a questionnaire, and if you don't make those,
that's right.
Yeah, you don't. So not everyone can apply.
That's true.
You do the questionnaire first.
Right.
If you can't get through the eligibility quiz, you won't be able to.
That's so good that you guys have that at the top of the application too, by the way.
Yeah. We want to make sure that we are filtering out so that way you're not wasting your time as well. Our team is optimizing our time as well. So not everyone can apply. So if you did apply, great.
Everybody can't come up here.
Pass the first step. But let me just add and finish the question, because it's important to understand how selection happens. There are hundreds of people that are going to be interviewed, and we are choosing the best, what we deem as the best and what we seek as the best. It's not about if you have this traction, you're in. It's about, are you the top founders of the top 20 of the pool that we're interviewing? And that's the case. So there's no just like, hey, if you have this number, it's a cutoff, you're in. It's really competition amongst everyone that's applying, and you being the top founder.
No, it's stiff. And so let's talk about this too, because I've seen you. I think you I don't know if you know this, but I think you got this from me. Every time you tweet it, you got to drop like 25 cents in my tip jar, bro. I saw you, because I always say invest in lines, not dots.
Oh, so you have said that before, but many VCs. I listened to a 20-minute.
Oh wait, I stole that from somebody. Is what you said?
I listen to a lot of podcasts. So,
it's possible.
I appreciate you bring that up, because it's super important.
It is important.
So I do want to give you your flowers for saying.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, you don't have to pay me, because I stole it from somebody too. But the point is, and this is why we're here, right? This is why we're here having this conversation. So if you're having this conversation, right, what you need to do after this, you need to go follow Darrel on Twitter, engage with his content. I'm not going to tell him to DM you, because I know you don't need those problems, because I know your DMs are just
true. I answer all my DMs.
He does.
Every last one of them. I answer all of them. It's a weird policy that I have for myself, but I just wasn't raised like that to ignore people. So I reply to everybody. It may take some time. I may lose sleep, but I do apply to everyone.
Does.
I appreciate everyone that wants to engage with me, and I appreciate it.
And the point is, again, like, so if you just meeting Darrel today, that's a dot. You follow him on Twitter, you engage with his content, another dot. You DM him and say something meaningful there, that's another dot, right? So you connect those three guys. Now you got a small line, right? They're reviewing applications because Darrel reviews applications. He sees your name. Oh, wow. I know so-and-so. Okay. Right. It goes in a different bucket from somebody just showing up off the street. So that doesn't mean you're going to get in because we're only talking about 1% of the people. But, and the other thing to consider is they have all these different programs and they're spinning up new programs all the time. I went to Techstars Austin. We applied the first time, we didn't get in. We got in, the second time. So, but it's because they felt we connected those dots for them. They felt very comfortable. They wanted us in. So don't be discouraged if you don't get in the first time. Just build relationships. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing in addition to, what he was talking about with the traction and such. Agree or not?
Yeah, definitely. Each time we learn about your company, it gives us just more data points to be able to see how viable this can be. So reach out to myself, reach out to other members of my team, reach out to our founders that have been through our programs. Like, I get introductions from them all the time, and some of the people that they introduce me to are just such high caliber. And I trust our founders because they are in the streets building their companies, and they know the founders that are building and are legit as well. So get to know founders that have been through our programs and hear from them. Ask them about, is Visible Hands legit? Is it a good program? And hear what they say. And call us out on anything that you hear that doesn't line up with what we're saying, because we always want to improve. And I really think that going to the source, which is our founders, the people that we claim to serve, those are the people with the real answers about our program and how good or how bad it may be.
Yeah, 100%. So Cal said Darrel gets down in the DMs. It's true. Sorry, this pollen here in Atlanta is off the chat. It's like Dan is like, oh, sorry about that. Somebody said he does. Yes, he does. Absolutely. So we got a lot of questions here. Let me try to get to some of these questions. Oh boy, questions are piling up. How many spots available? Is 20. Terms for the 200K, $4 million cap, 5%. Curriculum. Yeah, let's talk about that. What's that like?
Yeah. So in our 10-week accelerator, we do 1 week in person for orientation. And that first week is going to be mostly community building, getting to know the other 19 founders in the cohort, getting to know our team, the investors on our team, our partners, and everyone that's going to be involved with the accelerator program, as well as some workshops. Some of them are going to be staff-led, and then some of them are going to be founder-led as well, like people from our previous accelerator cohorts and founders that are in the cohort that want to volunteer to teach and provide lessons for their fellow cohorts members. That's going to be the first in-person week. And then also, since we're here in Tulsa and the rich history here of Black Wall Street, there's going to be a lot of tours and education about the rich history of here in Tulsa for that first orientation week. After that, it's grind time. 9 weeks of programming in regards to company building and focusing on those areas of your business that are crucial to your success. That will be completely virtual, so you'll be back home wherever you're from. And we are providing you with resources, mentorship, and support to help you move the needle in your business, whether it be going to market with your customers, product building, fundraising, whatever is the key thing that you need in your business at that time. Our team is going to hold you accountable to reaching those goals over the next 9 weeks.
So I noticed that if you're applying with a co-founder, each founder has to apply separately. Like, what inspired you all to do that versus just putting, both founders on one application?
I actually think that there's a discrepancy, and I don't think that that's necessary. I think we made a mistake in regards to the information that we put.
Okay.
So I'll clarify with my team that one founder is fine.
Okay, that's good to know. So everybody, if you go fill it out, you just hold off before you get your co-founder to fill that out. And one other question before I get to some of these other questions is, like, do y'all have a position on founders who may have already gone through an accelerator? Do y'all care, not care? Like, what's y'all's position on that?
It's just another, data point. It shows that you probably have more resources. You have other people that are invested in your success. So I would say usually it's a positive thing as opposed to a negative thing.
Okay.
And we encourage, if you've been through other accelerators, we're happy to take a look and consider you for ours.
That's so good. Thank you for answering that question. I appreciate that. One of the things I love about you, Darrel, is you always keep it. Well, when we get on here, we always keep it a buck. So,
Yeah,
and you keep coming back for it. So I appreciate
yeah, man. Yeah, man.
you. All right, here's a question for you. Can the application be edited after being submitted to share traction?
So I don't believe you can go in and edit the application, but what you can do is email apply@visiblehands.vc, and then that you can connect any updates to your application by just emailing that email address, and our team will have it. Especially what's good about the fact that we have the interview process. Anything that wasn't shared on your application, and if you get into the interview, you're able to talk about that in more detail as well.
Excellent. So, Lynn, if you're listening, if you could like drop in another question to explain what you mean by that. Are you looking for businesses other than products? I don't really understand what that means. So if you could just clarify that. Do you
Yeah,
want to take a shot at that?
I think you're asking, do you have to have a product? And I would assume the alternative is to a service business. So what we're looking for is highly scalable businesses that can produce a venture backable outcome, meaning 100,000x, however how big your company can get
Yeah.
in regards to venture capital returns.
Right. Can you get to $100 million in revenue? Is there any plausible way you think you
Yeah.
could get to $100 million in
Well,
revenue?
scale is key. And that's what you're going to be trying to
Right.
showcase in the application and the interviews.
Right. Like if you're just opening a storefront giving massages, probably not venture scalable, right? That doesn't mean it's not a good business. It just means it's not going to be venture scalable. Okay. So here goes. Do you have a network of people to connect us with as well in case we need connections with any specific industry? That's a great question.
Yeah, that's one of the value propositions of our program, including our staff and our team, our networks and extended networks. We also have a partnership with Bolster, and they have an extensive network of amazing people from various industries and organizations that are just amazing mentors that we pair with our founders in our program. When we started working with Bolster last year, I actually had no clue how great they were, candidly. But after our last cohort, like just the value that these Bolster mentors and Bolster as an organization has been tremendous. I don't know if anyone has joined the info session we had yesterday. Brandon Mitchell, one of our founders from cohort number 2, founder of Rightsy, he spoke very highly about his Bolster mentor, which happened to be the CEO of Bolster. And they actually just did so much to help him on his journey, as well as wrote a check. They actually have a fund and invested as well. So it's so much that Bolster provides, as well as the connections that we have as a team at Visible Hands to get you founders plugged in to the right mentorship and connection you need for your business.
So wait, Bolster invests pre-seed?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just about to spin up some emails, and I met those people when I was at Tech. Okay.
Talk to Brandon, man. He'll tell you the story, or rewatch
Listen,
the info session from yesterday. He spoke very much detailed.
Amazing. All right, Megan. So he already answered that question. You use email updates. What's the email address?
I would recommend, if you have updates, apply. You can reach out to team members individually, or you can reach out to apply@visiblehands.vc. But the more context we have about the great things you're doing, the better. So I would recommend to share updates, because it's going to be helpful to help you stand out.
Yep. All right, I'm just going to try to power through these questions, bro. Any biotech startups been accepted?
Biotech? I don't think so. I don't think we have any yet, but that doesn't mean we wouldn't consider it.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Are formerly incarcerated founders considered underrepresented founders?
So when we say underrepresented founders, we are talking about diversity in terms of ethnicity and gender. So that's what we are considering in regards to underrepresented.
Yeah, so it's women, BIPOC, LGBTQ plus, right? That kind of thing. Okay, cool. You already answered some of those questions. Let's see. Attended information session yesterday, and they wanted to know that customers would buy, not only try. Do you want revenue generating definitively?
So we're going to be leaning towards post-revenue companies, but not definitively. If you stand out tremendously and are pre-revenue, you still have a shot but just the bar is going to be higher just because we are leaning towards post revenue. But it's not impossible for you to still get in being pre-revenue. We let in, a few pre-revenue companies for BKXL, and
dope.
some of our rock stars that we really love.
Oh, amazing.
And they're turning on revenue right now as we speak. And it's like, as long as you have a pathway, and just give us the confidence of your ability to execute, and that customers really want this, that's what we're looking for. And the revenue just becomes a validator that you can't disprove. So it's just more validation. It's the strongest form of validation, in my opinion.
Right. So here's a question. I don't know how you can answer this one. What separates top 20 versus top 40 versus top 200 versus overall applicant pool? Oh boy.
Yeah. So we have a scorecard from the application and scorecard from the interviews. And then while we are using the scorecard as a guide, ultimately we are handpicking the founders that are in top 20 versus top 40. And the beautiful thing is, in regards to our selection and final selection, that even if you don't make it to the top 20, people actually have to accept to be in the program. So sometimes, you get 2 or 3 people that decline, or like for whatever reason, hey, we're not interested in being a part. Then we go into our top 40 and we'll pick people from there. So, there's a lot of opportunity to where if you're not in that top 20, that you still might get selected. So apply, do well in the interview, and just let the rest be up to God.
Yeah, right. So here's a question. So the program is 10 weeks, 9 weeks virtual, but accommodations, I guess, for the first week. What's what they're asking, Heather, is?
Those with disabilities. Yeah. So our team is very accommodating, not only to people with disabilities, but also mothers. And we make sure that we understand the needs of all the founders in the cohort. So if you do have anything that needs special attention, please just let our team know, and we'll be able to accommodate. That happens, after you're selected to be in the program, and we'll make sure that everything in our power to make sure that you're accommodated for.
Okay. So here's a question. Design is a focus of the program. Can you speak more about that? I'm not sure I understand. You understand the question?
Yeah. So in regards to like product design, we have resources to help you design your product, design your pitch deck, design your websites. So we provide a lot of design support, because we do believe that design helps you attract and retain customers.
Got it. Perfect. So here's a question from Sneha. I feel like you already answered this question a couple of times, though.
So if you are still in the customer discovery phase and haven't built or gone to market with customers, it's not impossible to get in, but it's going to be much harder because we are leaning towards our post revenue or post product founders that are applying, because they typically have more validation that there's something meaningful here. So I would say apply. You never know what can happen, but the further you are in regards to revenue and product, that makes it much more helpful to
yeah. Look, everybody, I think that the Visible Hands team is just simply responding to the environment that we're in, right? They don't want to bring people into the program who get out and are still pre-product, pre-revenue in this current fundraising environment, and you can't raise money, right? So I think they're just trying to pick people and position everybody for success, given where we are right now. Is that fair to say, or no, Darrel?
No, I would say is that we have 20 spots. If I could invest in everybody,
but you keep emphasizing revenue, traction. I get, like, we want to de-risk, I understand, but if this were 2021, I think you guys would be probably a lot more flexible in that regard, or no?
No. So we have 20 spots. We're going to pick the 20
you're killing me.
best founders that we believe are going to be our return and be a
all right. Program. I love that we don't always agree on these things. I love it. All right, fair enough. You heard what the man said. Got 20 spots. You're welcome, Sneha. It's good to see you as always. Gina says, thanks. That's helpful. Is real estate okay? Does real estate provide venture scalable returns?
I'm actually super interested in real estate tech, or if you're creating some type of way to help people get into real estate, or do more just like deals in real estate. Like I love technology that enables real estate. That'd be great.
So this is an interesting question. If you can answer it, what's the rationale behind virtual programs? In my previous experience with accelerators, I found that local programs with established networks and investment connections yield better results. Is the virtual format primarily aimed at increasing accessibility? Are there any limitations regarding the type of company or the founder's country of origin? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Rodolfo's in Estonia, by the way.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for the question, Rodolfo. So in regards to our decision to be a primarily virtual first program, it is actually for the person that the reason why you outlined, it's actually to increase accessibility. If you think about in-person programs, for those founders that cannot relocate to those locations, it's not accessible for them. So we have this format of virtual primarily, but we do an in-person orientation for a whole week where we pay all the expenses to get you to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and provide a really fun and engaging experience. You have some of that feeling of the in-person connections and relationships that you're building, but then also you have the flexibility of going back home and doing virtual programming. So we are doing it to be more accessible as opposed to less.
Love that. That's so good. All right. So I know we got to wrap up. You got another 5 minutes or you got to hop?
I got time.
Okay. When do you get the 200K? That's a good question. Is it like in chunks? How does that work?
No, it's all one check. It'll happen likely in September.
When you get in, you get to 200 stacks.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And like for those that will get in, it's pending due diligence. So like if you get in August 10th, if you get all your due diligence in, like you'll have to check before the program starts. Just making sure that if once you clear with due diligence, we can wire the money.
All right. So I'm scrolling through some of the questions. I see some of these are like questions we've already answered. Yeah. So Rodolfo says, thank you. Do we have to pay for the first week? No, I think Darrel just said that they pay for it.
That I left out for Rodolfo's question.
Okay.
He asks about founders' location. That doesn't matter. So founders can be from anywhere, but for us to invest, you have to have or be willing to open a U.S. entity, preferably a Delaware C Corp. So founders can be from anywhere, but for us to invest, you need a Delaware C Corp. You need a U.S. entity, preferably Delaware C Corp, and you need to be able to make it to the in-person orientation in Tulsa. Travel and lodging is covered for Tulsa. We take care of that.
Is Sumi on the team? She's answering questions like she works there.
She's just teeing up good questions.
Is she on the team? Is she work for you?
Yes, see, she works on the team. She's
perfect. I'm like, she's asking those questions like a boss. I'm like, she must know some things. Thank you, Sumir, for chapping in and helping us answer these questions. We appreciate you for that. Yes, and thank you, Liberty, for tapping in and being here with us. So what's included in the due diligence process? We'll make that the last questions because I know you got to go check on GG the VC.
Yeah, so due diligence comprises of legal documents, just confirming that everything you stated in the application interview is legitimate. Really just standard due diligence process that's done by our legal team at Mintz. And that's pretty much usually takes between 2 and 3-4 weeks. But we work with our legal team and they try to get done as quick as possible.
Awesome. And listen, follow him on Twitter. That's why I put this handle up again. Like, I hate to say this, bro, but he wants it. DM him. He answers all the DMs. He does.
Look, I just do it because I want to serve founders at the highest capacity. And one way that I continue to serve founders is by hosting a weekly VC founder office hours on Fridays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. I bring in a guest VC every week to be able to talk to the founders and give access to VCs to extend your network. I try to make myself super accessible, so I'm trying to drag along other investors to be accessible as well. Show up. We do it on Twitter Spaces every Friday.
Awesome. Yes, just follow him on Twitter. He's always there, bringing people on, answering all the questions, providing all information. So go there, get what you need. Darrel is a really, really great human. He's a new dad. GG to VC. Did you get that handle yet or no? You need to go cop that. And everybody, so again, I'm James from Kabila. Kabila is an inclusive co-founder matching app. So our co-founder matching MVP is ready. We're just making a couple of tweaks to it. Getting a couple notifications, email notifications, a little glitchy. So we're fixing that. We're going to onboard the first 250 users. We're focused like y'all on inclusion. right? So one cool thing about our app is like we don't show pictures, we don't show names, those types of things until you begin to engage with people, because we want people focused on things that matter, not, you know, the bias that, you know, we all have, unfortunately. So that's it, everybody. Hang on for 1 second, Darrell, before I wrap this up. If you're in my Kabila community, which you can join by going to, where is that? joinkabila.com community. You know, we'll post a replay in the community if you want to watch it. We have tons of incredible replays. I mean, we had Darrell a couple of months ago for an event for Overlooked Founders. We had David Cohen come, Techstars co-founder, talk about how to overcome investor objections. That's incredible. AWS did a talk about how to identify bias when you're pitching investors, how to answer those questions properly, because if you don't, you actually raise a lot less money. So we have a ton of amazing resources in the community right now. So you could go there for that. And thanks everybody for coming. I'm sorry we couldn't get to all the questions. We got to most of them. I didn't even get all my questions answered because I wanted to get to y'all's questions, because that's more important than my questions. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming through, and we'll see you next time. Hang out, Darrell, for 1 second. Thanks, everybody. Bye.